Autumn is a magical time in the herb garden, in your own kitchen garden, or on the allotment. It's a time in which low-level sunlight makes everything look that little bit special. But it's also quite a deceptive time, and it's important not to be caught out. It's important not to be tricked by the sun that appears so warm during the day and then the chill that returns at night, which I absolutely love, by the way. It's important not to think of October as a winter month. In actual fact, even though the daylight hours are massively reduced, October is still a really amazing, productive time in which you can absolutely grow some delicious flavour and keep the garden productive. More importantly, you can have some fun. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why I love autumn so much, but more importantly, some practical tips, jobs that you can do in the autumnal herb garden, allotment, or kitchen garden in early October. Before I go back over there and talk to you about some jobs you can do right now in the early October herb garden, it would mean a huge amount to me if you just hit the like button, drop me a comment on the video. It makes a huge difference to a small channel like ours. It feels slightly pushy saying that, but that's the only time I'm going to mention it. So now, back to the video. Let's talk about jobs you can do right now in the October herb garden. The first really fun and really practical thing that you can do in the early October garden is divide herbs. Dividing herbs is a really great way of propagating your stock, of increasing your stock, but also keeping the plants healthy, vigorous and bushy. And the variety that I'm holding here is a variety called Alpine Strawberry. Alpine Strawberry is a really beautiful variety that spreads slowly, producing these delicious small strawberry fruits. You can see some Alpine Strawberries in the pot right next to me here. Now, I only planted these up maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but they're growing so quickly, they're established already, which I think is really cool. It shows how the autumn is a really good growing period, deceptively good. But Alpine Strawberries are actually a perfect illustration of how you can divide plants to increase your stock. You can actually lift plants out of the ground and divide them. Now, in the case of the plant I'm holding here, this is already in a pot, and you can see that it's so easy to just remove the plant from its pot and then just gently tease the plant apart like so. You could probably divide those again, but then you can actually replant these two different plants into the ground, spread them out a little bit, increase the number of plants you've got, put them into pots, or you can give them to friends and family as presents, and that is what's cool about this time of year. There's so many different herbs that you can divide. You can divide Roman chamomile, chamomile lawn, chives. Chives are really, really easy to divide and great to divide at this time of year. Low growing thymes are a lot of fun to divide too. So the first job that I would suggest that you do in the October or early October herb garden is divide some herbs. It's a lot of fun and you're going to get more plants for free. Another really important job in the October herb garden or allotment is picking chilies. And you can see here I've got a selection of different chilies, a variety called Basket of Fire, but also Demon Red that's just there. And I'm going to spend a lot of the next few weeks actually picking these delicious fruits. I'm going to be making chili jam. This might get me in trouble with my wife, but I absolutely love. It was a mistake eating this on the video. That is really hot.
A few moments later.
A jalapeno is around 10,000 Scovilles of heat. This is supposed to be around 80,000, and wow, you can taste that. Beautiful flavour. Probably a mistake eating it on the video. I'm going to be harvesting these chilies over the next few weeks. If you've sown super hots like Naga Ghost Chili or Carolina Reaper, they're going to fruit a little bit later, so we've just got to hope for some nice weather. It all depends on when you've sown them. They take quite a while to reach maturity. Would you guys like me to do a separate video on how you can grow chilies? Because it's something I absolutely love. I'm going to eat the rest of this, that's quite nice. You're also going to be harvesting the last of your summer crops. So in my case, I'm going to be harvesting the last of the beans that I've sown in my small, tiny front garden growing project. I've actually succession sown them throughout the summer. So I've got access to crops throughout the late September season. But I think I've neglected them a little bit in the last few weeks. So now I'm going to be picking the last of the beans that I sowed earlier in the year. I've harvested a lot of beans this year and It's a shame to see them go, but they'll be back next year. This is also a time when you're going to be lifting the last of your summer potatoes. I've still got a few potatoes left in the ground. I like to leave them in the ground for as long as possible until I'm going to use them. But it's always a race to make sure that they don't get damaged. So I'm going to be lifting the last of my potatoes. And one of the themes that I want to convey to you in this video is that the autumn is a time of transition. It's a time of transitioning from those summer crops into the autumn crop. So this is a time where you're going to be lifting a lot of the last of the summer veg, removing some annual herbs as well. And that's going to leave you with chance to actually tidy up your growing space, which I think is a lot of fun and also really productive. So checking for weeds, lifting any weeds. If you're going to top up the soil, you can do that as well now if you're using a no-dig method. But I'm actually going to be replacing a lot of these crops with crops that are going to go through the autumn and winter, providing me and my family with some free food, essentially. If you haven't watched the last couple of videos that I've posted on this channel, please go back and do so. I'll post links in the description. But there's so much that you can sow at this time of year. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to be filling the gaps that have been left by me lifting my potatoes, my French beans, and I'm going to be replacing them with the crops that I've shown you me sowing on this channel over the last few weeks. You can see the seedlings that I have sown on this channel over the last few weeks are coming up really nicely. You've got your radishes, your spring onion, your pak choy and rocket, and literally in the next week or so I'll be planting these outside. They're all nice and hardy and they've been in cold polytunnel anyway. I've also potted up a range of these on the windowsill in my house, and they've actually come on a lot quicker. I've deliberately sown some crops on the windowsill rather than in the polytunnel, because as part of the challenge that I'm doing over on my Instagram account, I'm trying to prove how much money you can save by growing in a tiny front garden. And it felt like cheating to sow the crops here in the polytunnel. So I've done exactly the same here, but on the windowsill of my house, and they're coming on even quicker because it's a bit warmer in the house. So I'll be potting all these on, and indeed planting them out in the next week or so. So in early October, you can start to replace the crops that you've removed from your growing space, and you can start replacing them with some really fun varieties that will go through the autumn. I'm especially looking forward to this radish, and I love pak choy. You can also replace the annual herbs, varieties like basil, coriander, dill, that are going to be starting to look a bit sad over the coming weeks, with hardy perennial herbs. And next week on this channel I'm going to post a much longer video where I do a little bit of a tour showing you varieties that you can actually plant now, herbs that you can plant in October to go through the winter. I'm going to talk about those in more detail, but you can actually replace the annual herbs with delicious evergreen hardy herbs that will go through the winter, and I think that is really, really cool. Autumn is a time of transition within the growing space, within your allotment, within your kitchen garden, within your herb garden. It's a time that actually encourages us to slow down, to embrace the change, to embrace the changing seasons, and I absolutely love it. And it's going to be delightful sharing it with you on this channel. I should say that autumn is traditionally harvest time, where you're going to be yielding so many crops and so many delicious flavours from your herb garden, from your growing space. Last week I actually ran a workshop on how you can harvest and preserve the ingredients that you're going to be growing, and that's available through our membership site, through Herb Club, which is available on Urban Herb's website. Check that out, and if you've got any questions, just drop me a comment below. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video as I'm sharing with you the low-level sunlight that is blinding me. It's really, really bright today. But isn't that the magic of autumn? The fact that everything just gets silhouetted by this gorgeous, gorgeous sunshine. I love the chill in the air. It's a magical time of year, and I can't wait to share the next few weeks with you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It makes a huge difference, and it lets me know that you enjoy my videos. Until next time, guys. See you later.